Have you ever caught yourself questioning yourself on why do you even bother? Like, what's the point? Why do I bother trying to show up and do these things that, yeah, some days I desire to do them, but other days you go, I don't have the time. I don't have the energetic capacity. I don't know what I'm doing or why I even wanted to do this in the first place. Now I have no desire to do it. Why do I even bother? If you find yourself asking questions like these, then welcome to the Rewired and Radiant podcast, where I am going to talk about all the ways that I have rewired my brain to become my most radiant self. And yes, I'm still working on it, little bits at a time. And now I'm going to be sharing it right here with you because this question is something I ask myself all the time. I am so busy as a stay at home mom. And yes, I'm a stay at home mom. I have the blessing of being home with my kids all the time. And sometimes, because I am home all the time, I feel like that means I should be doing more because I'm not going and working full time and have this like set schedule where I only have little pockets of time between the day because between work and daycare and kids going to school, whatever the case may be, I don't have all of that. So therefore, it's easier to get down on myself for the things I don't do because, well, why not? I have the time, don't I? So I guess this is going to be a little bit of backstory as to why I show up and do the things that I do and why I'm now bringing it to the beautiful world of the internet on my podcast. Welcome to the official first episode of the Rewired and Radiant podcast, where I'm really hoping that as I share the things that I'm going through and what I have learned along the way, you can have some takeaways on how you can rewire your brain and become your most radiant self as well. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it is all about. That is why I bother. I love feeling better about myself. It excites me so much to show up like this because even from 6 months ago or a year ago, I feel like I am so much more light and radiating off this new energy of myself that never existed before. And I have always been a big dreamer and a believer of like anything is possible if you stick your mind to it. However, that doesn't mean I've always had success with that, as I've had some really big goals and dreams over the years, and I've gone for it. Maybe sometimes I've been like one foot in, one foot out, and that's why I haven't gotten the full experience that I could have. But that doesn't mean I've always held myself back from trying out new things and testing the waters on all these different things that we get to do with our lives. Because as I dream big and do these things, at the end of the day, it really just helped me feel better and it helped me have no regrets. Because sometimes in life, you want to do things and then you don't have the time or the capacity. And you go, you know what? No, I really want to do that thing. So you do it anyways. And then you surprise yourself because you feel so good. You end up unlocking energy. You feel better. You feel more radiant. And then you're like, cool, I want to do more. So we keep going. And that's when we get basically the forward momentum in your life to feel better, to have success, to feel successful, and to actually live your life in a way that maybe you haven't lived before. And sometimes that is as simple as no longer being so frustrated with life or feeling so anxious. This is where it all started for me. I have been, I still, I suffer with frustration the most, okay? Like some people before it used to be really bad anxiety. I think my anxiety came from frustration though. And we all usually have one little quirk where it's something we do or it's a feeling that we feel that we don't like. We want to shift it. We want to find a better way. And a lot of the time that starts with, well, self work. This podcast will be all about that, rewiring our brains to become radiant. It's very self help, right? But sometimes I feel that there's like this negative thing around self help. This isn't negative. If you feel feelings, that is so human of you to be frustrated, to be angry, irritable. anxious, feeling depressed. All these things are very normal. It's not as much about like, let's fix me. It's let's feel these things and then let's figure out a way to switch it into a new feeling because I know there's other feelings out there too. Now you're just being human, accepting yourself and who you are, where you're at, and just working with yourself the best that you can. And how do you do that? How do I do that? Why do we do that? Why do we even bother? One of my biggest reasons that I bother is because I don't want to be frustrated for the rest of my life. I don't want to feel anxious. The feelings of anxiety and frustration and irritability, yes, they're normal, but I don't want them to control my life. I've been working on dealing with those feelings for quite some time now. As I used to get frustrated with my animals, I still do sometimes. Now I've got kids, and it is so hard some days to not get frustrated at my kids. Or really, is it that I'm frustrated with my kids or the mess of my house? Am I annoyed of opening my bank account and being like, shit, I don't have enough money for groceries? Like, there's another reason why I do what I do. I desire to have the ability to go to the grocery store and not say, oh, today it's this yogurt or that yogurt, or it's this over that. Like, we're going to get juice boxes today, but then we're going to get like the big 4-liter jug of juice next time. That is not the dreams and desires of my reality. I desire to have an unlimited grocery budget. How many people out there, tell me, do you desire to have an unlimited grocery budget, to be able to fill up your gas whenever you need and not wait for your payday, to open up your bank account on payday and not feel the whole, oh, it's really unfortunate that I have to watch all of this money just disappear right in front of my eyes? What if you could have a little bit of overflow, even if it's only an extra $200 a month, so that, oh, now when you go to the grocery store, you can get the extra things. You can get the extra snack. You can take that extra trip this month and go do something else and take the kids to the bouncy castle without batting an eyelash. Like, those are desires too. That is another huge reason behind why I even bother. And yes, we are in a very comfortable place. I am fortunate to be a stay at home mom. I don't have to go to work, but that almost makes it more difficult sometimes because I don't have to show up and do these things. I want to. I desire these things to have more abundance, more presence and time and patience with my children and my family, my friends. I desire to not have that feeling of irritability throughout my days and frustration, to not want to snap when things are getting overwhelming, because if you're a mom, you really know what it's like to get overwhelmed by your environment and your kids and just life in general. And something that I have unlocked quite recently is, even though some days I don't have the time or the capacity, or I feel like giving up and I go, why the hell do I bother? I have learned that when I show up and do the things anyways, or when I do the thing and some, then I actually end up gaining more capacity. I end up feeling lighter. I end up not being as frustrated and irritable. I'm so much more present with my kids. It is insane and it is so beautiful. And really, all it took was me getting out of my own way and to stop overthinking all the time on these things that I would like to do, not only for, okay, so I want to start an online business. I've tried a few online businesses the last few years. I've tried digital marketing, network marketing. I wanted to be a beauty influencer because I was a makeup artist for several years. And then, pandemic happened. So I was like, oh, cool, let's bring it online. Maybe I can get free PR and this and that. And then I can work from home and be a full time stay at home mom and still bring in some income on the side. It is possible. I've seen that it's possible. I know people that do it. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Well, then that can help my finances. We won't have financial stress on my family. So we can do more. We can travel more. We can go to the mountains more than just once a year, because I only live 3 hours from the Rocky Mountains. I love hiking. but yet I'm limited to only going once or twice a year when it fits in the budget. Like, no, I want to go when I want to go. And these are desires that I have. So that's why I bother. That's why I'm starting this. I've wanted to be a content creator since the pandemic because I saw other people doing it and it was possible for them. So it's possible for me too, right? Oh, but then all the fun comes in. You have to find the time and the effort and the desire and push through the why do I bother? Work on your mindset, work on your personality, learn to trust yourself with doing these things. Because if you don't have a set work schedule, then how do you find the time to show up? You know, that's one thing I struggle with a lot is, oh, but why do I bother? I don't have the time. I would rather sit at home with my kids because I desired to be a stay at home mom for so long. And yeah, the finances would be good, but this is really hard on my mental health. And you go down this loop and this cycle, and then you never end up doing the things you want to do that are on your mind, that you're overthinking all the time, that are potentially going to help you with your finances or whatever. But then I learned to just go do the things anyways. And it's crazy. It has built so much self-trust. It is a learning curve for sure. I am learning how to be more disciplined and how to just show up anyways, even when I don't feel like it. But then I show up, and the next thing you know, I'm playing with my kids and I am more focused with them. I have more imagination when I play with them. I'm more connected. My son and I feel, have the best relationship now. He's almost 5, and we actually engage when we're hanging out. It's not always easy to engage with a 4-year-old. They're crazy, okay? They wanna play, and then they don't wanna play, and then, "Oh, mommy, but now it's time to play with me," and then it's, okay, now he's going and doing something by himself or hanging out with his sister and leaving me alone. Oh, but now she's screaming about something. And it gets frustrating. It gets overwhelming. And usually I'm sitting with them and I'm constantly in my head of all these ideas of things I want to do for the summer. And how are we going to do that when we don't have the money for it? And how can I get the money for it? And oh, maybe I should show up online more. And, all these content creators, I can be a content creator. Here's some ideas in my mind of what I can create for content. Oh, but then I don't do it. And then it just lives in my mind. And now I snap because all of a sudden there's this chaos everywhere. And I've been so in my head and disassociative that I don't realize why they're actually getting upset because I wasn't fully paying attention. Well, guess what? I started doing all these things that were in my head and now I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention to my kids to the point that, like, they're barely getting to the point of their own personal frustrations and chaotic explosions, I guess would be the best way to put it. If you know, you know. If you're a mom and you're going through this too, let's connect. Send me a message in the comments or leave a message in the comments. I think sure, we'll figure it out. Welcome to episode 1. Anyways, so if you're a mom and you're struggling with these things, or even if you're just struggling with these things and you're not a mom and you're going, yeah, I get really irritated with my animals sometimes. I get really snippy sometimes. And I don't want to do that anymore. Well, then maybe this podcast is for you because that is the point of why we do it anyways. You start to feel better about yourself. You start to unlock new opportunities. Maybe you start to bring more money into your world. And now you're no longer frustrated about money. Maybe you get other opportunities, like people start inviting you on trips places, and it's like, don't worry, I got you. I'll pick you up. Let's go on a girls' trip. These things happen magically when you start doing the things that you want to do, that you're overthinking, and when you're just working on yourself. Why do you do it? Because of how you want to feel at the end of the day, right? You want to rewire your brain, rewire yourself, start to feel more radiant, start to show up more, start to build more self trust, and to get the heck out of waiting for life, the waiting period. I'll do a whole episode on that. But like, I am not going to sit around and wait for my kids to be older to do these things because I want to do these things now. I want to be with my family and adventure and connect with my family now. So how do I do that? I start showing up for myself. I plug in podcasts and read books and do all these things that help me to unlock energy, to take weight off of my shoulders, to open up more time and patience in my life and in myself. Because I am currently creating the reality of my dreams. I'm creating the identity of my dreams. I'm learning a lot about identity work too. And you know what? Apparently, as I show up online, I start to transform my identity. So that's another whole thing. Welcome to the podcast. I will talk about that on another episode too. And that's about it, right? That's it. That's why we do what we do. That's why we bother. That's why I'm bothering. And I'm learning to not be a bother because along this identity work, it's a lot of like getting out of, like I said before, getting out of your own way or working through stage fright. It's crazy. I used to dance. I used to be a competitive dancer. I was in drama class. I've modeled, been a makeup artist for pageant princesses, pageant queens. I can't remember. Same thing, different ages. But you get the point. I'm still struggling with imposter syndrome and stage fright, but I will get over it little bits at a time as I show up and do the thing, even when I don't feel like it, and as I rewire my brain along the way to become my most radiant self. Okay, I think that's it for today. I really hope that something in this message stuck with you or resonated with you and helps guide you along your next steps of why you're doing what you're doing and why you're bothering to show up even on the hard days. And if you want to see more like this, stick around. Follow along, subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much for showing up today, not only to learn some things here, but also showing up for yourself. Because as you listen to episodes like this or read books that give you information to help you along your journey of whatever it is that you're doing, you're helping yourself. And I celebrate you for that. Okay? If you feel like it, drop a comment, start a conversation with me. But I would love, love, love to see who's listening, where you found me, and then share this with somebody else that maybe needed to hear this message today because I am so searching for some connection as well on here, finding like minded people. So if that's you, I would love to connect. And that's it, I think. Have a beautiful day, and I will catch you in the next episode. Okay.